Because that would explain that too if they just hauled him out of bed. My question then becomes, why bother with Morgan at all then? If they came to get the judge and they got the judge, why was this person toying with Morgan in her sleep?
That may be a question for the interrogator.
It's very peculiar.
Do you think you could smell these sleeping salts in our room? Just occurred to me that we slept through the welding of metal to our door.
That is strange.
So, if everyone's been incapacitated, I mean, they've just lost 50 soldiers, 50 boarders. By what? Go on. Deal with the judge.
None of this makes sense to me, especially if this is something that theoretically the Inquisitor sent out. And I don't know why all of these mixed messages.
That also troubles me and puzzles me.
Hvor lang rekkevidde har den elsparkesykkelen nå?
Just to be safe.
I'm sure Morgan is reaching out to Valentine to
180 km?
confirm this information from
18 km?
Morgan, what are you doing? You have Talos with you. Avarice has been left behind to get his brain scanned by Closet.
Yes, but Morgan is buying time while that scan is going on because she wants just the information and also wants time to turn her own brain over to try and like suss out everything that has gone on and what it means to the mission at large. And she thinks well and is settled by other people being around or talking because she's had the bar situation and she's just likes there to be more chatter rather than being alone. She's in her youth listened to people through walls, and so that's calming to her. So she brings Talos Ivo back to her captain's quarters, and she's sitting at her desk, but she's going to talk to Talos Ivo and say, Talos, when you started work on the Geller fields and investigating how you could improve them, I don't know much about your religion, but I assume you knew it would be heretical to make those changes.
Oh, of course not.
No.
No.
Why not?
Well, it's perfectly fine. It turns out there are two different theories of mechanicum, what they would deem experimentation, which I agree is absolutely heretical. But I'm part of the Belisarian call methodology, which means that instead of actually trying to experiment and create new things, which I believe is absolutely heretical and no one should do, we actually are trying to rediscover old technologies through recreating experiments that must have logically been done in the past. So I'm not learning anything new, I'm just recovering learnings that have been lost. That's why it's not tech heresy, according to me, and Belisarius call. Unfortunately, a lot of the Mechanicum seems to have differing opinions on it.
I see. So, you are still following your religion and not a heretic in your own eyes, but following the path that makes the most sense to you to improve the Imperium.
Yeah, I guess.
Or how would you put it?
I'm still absolutely following my religion, just some people got my religion wrong.
I see.
You know, dinosaurs and such. People who want things to be more simple than they are, and thus are holding humanity back by not recreating, knowledge and other things that humanity's always had. I'm doing the right thing, but they're backwards.
Yes, that makes sense to me. And Morgan is mostly trying to talk to him about this in order to suss out her own feelings about the situation with the mission and with Valentine and with everything of what is the correct path, but also just feeling like Talos Ivo was both given to her by Valentine and was said, like, this is a man who's not a heretic, this is a person who will help you on your mission. And because he's so forthright and just doing his own thing, he feels like a safe person to just bounce thoughts off of. So you're happy to continue to do this work of yours for the Inquisition?
I'm happy to continue my work. I don't know why it has to be for the Inquisition.
Because you're working for us right now.
Well, yeah, then I'm going to improve the Geller field here. Yeah, of course. I can't really do my work. I don't really have any equipment. I just have access to a Geller field that's hidden behind a shield that I can open sometimes. I've been banned from the hold.
yes, I see. And you're banned from the hold because Closet doesn't trust you, right?
Closet considers me a heretic? Yes.
People who have different views on the same religion, all under one roof.
Well, and some of them have a completely different religion and also think I'm a heretic, like Damien and the judge.
That's right. Well, I appreciate the work you are doing to keep our ship safe from the war.
You're welcome. What about you? How are you doing?
Morgan is just like... As he says that, she's looking over to Romeo, who's been shot to death again on her table.
Yeah.
And going, and she's just gonna like pick him up and look at a skull, her poor broken skull friend. I wish my tools would stop breaking.
I hear you, sister.
I love Talos Amos so much.
That's all she has for him.
I'm gonna fix that.
Are you able to do that?
Will you let me into Closet's birth?
I can't control him with that.
Well then, maybe. I gotta see what I can get Avarice to carry out.
What things would you like?
Basic toolkit would be great. Data slate, collection of computational engines, welding, perhaps a workbench or two.
I'll see if we can get you your own space to work on things.
Ooh. You're a good boss.
Morgan has nothing more to say and will leave Romeo on her desk and then is going to exit back towards seeing how Closet has gone.
Well, I wonder if I'm just supposed to wait here until she comes back. I'll do that.
Talos goes and sits down, patiently waiting in the corner on his tracks. And you go back to find Closet. Damien and Solomon, is there any other investigation you wanted to do on the way? You see Morgan moving past back towards Closet section of the ship, but that does not necessarily mean you need to follow her.
I think that gives Damien pause for a moment because he doesn't know about the astropath cost of calling Valentine. So he thinks it's weird that she's not in the astropath room talking to Valentine or waiting to be hailed by Valentine or anything like that. That's just like, oh, weird. But I think we would be remiss, Solomon and Damien, if we didn't try to conduct some sort of investigation on the corpses in the hallway.
Yeah.
Figure out the nature of their mission, obviously abduction, but why? Who are these people? I burned a lot of them. Did I burn all of them? I can't actually recall now. Did you slay some with your sort of like cut them down so that they're not, immolated, or
They got
Smash.
crushed by the shield.
those
shield
guys
crushed a
are
couple,
probably
and,
our best bet.
the
But
guns
det var en
shot a
fyrstart
few
över
too.
två.
yeah, okay. So
Så
there
han
are
sa
some
de
that
ser
are
deg
not
på noe.
absolutely
I think
fucking
maybe like
toasted.
5
Han
or 6
som
Oh,
jobbar
damn
där
it.
förut,
I was
så
gonna say
han
they have
ser deg
legs
på
and
noe.
arms.
Yeah.
Ja, han
Left
bodde
for the ones who
på
got heavy guns.
I was
Right.
gonna
They're
say,
a
I
little more
remember
crushed,
pink
but there,
Leisure.
mitts.
Yes,
there's a
that's
lot
true.
of missed,
Varför
yes.
ser
But
du på
there
Leisure?
are pieces left that
Nei,
have not been
kanskje han
burned.
ser
Otherwise,
det,
other
da
bodies
ser
that
deg
have been
kjøre
A great
rundt.
start then I think would be the ones that Solomon crushed under the door
Ja.
because I didn't incinerate them. That's probably the most intact evidence we're going to find, and then seeing what we can find there, and then maybe having to sift through like charred corpses and get a sense of maybe what we can find.
Okay, so we're going to start with the bodies at the wall. Solomon, are you helping with this, or are you doing your own search of something else?
I guess if you want to start searching the bodies, I could dip back into our room and see if I smell those smelling salts.
Golf
and
Mark
see if
igen.
anything else if anything in our room got fucked up.
So Damien would be like,
Han var
I'll be
liten,
back.
ass.
Want to have a look at these bodies. I can help.
Great, I'll get a perception for both of you. I'll have you both roll with advantage. You have
Nei,
time
det
to
er
look
ikke
and you're
Mark
seeing
1.
what's there, as opposed to, I'm not magically making evidence appear.
Natural 20.
Fabulous.
Much worse. Just a 7 for me.
7, you're not sure. There are so many smells. You had to punch through a door. Fire was in the room. There's just not nearly as much subtlety available to you in your own quarters. Meanwhile, out in the hallway, Damien, you find a couple of different items. You realize there are a pair of goggles that survived as you pick them up and take a glance. You're realizing that the equipment on these guys is not booby-trapped. You have enough familiarity with equipment through some of the training and experience that you've had that you're able to just kind of check it out. They had night vision, they had thermal vision, they had gloves. They also appear to have had something in one of their pockets. You're not sure if other people had it, but it seems likely.
It's a device that you'd recognize as a stummer. STUMMER. It
What
is
is
a
a stummer?
silencer for a person.
Oh,
It plays
interesting.
ambient noise in a way that it eliminates all the sound someone is making while they're moving around. So if you're wondering how the enemy crew could have gotten on the ship, could have set up the door to your room, could have done a lot of things that no one heard, they actively had sound jamming equipment that would make sure that organic and microphones and anything else, any organic supplement, could not hear them moving.
Have I found one that is intact and functional?
Yes.
I would like to pocket that.
Great.
To
You
my
pocket
coat.
it.
Great, thank you.
You're not sure how much of a charge it has, but you do have one.
Okay, goggles, gloves, stummer, and nothing else of note.
Combi, you're not seeing anything on these. It seems like they were more kind of the line troopers. The
Yeah.
most telling thing for you is the stummer. It would mean they could actually have welded your door shut and you just wouldn't have been able to hear it.
Right. Okay, so we weren't necessarily drugged. We'll see what Solomon says after he comes back
Yes.
after having a sniff.
Solomon returns after having a sniff.
There's nothing in that room. It's just burnt hair.
And he's doing his own like CSI thing without realizing it. He's like kneeling over a corpse, but like wordlessly doesn't look up at you. Reaches into his coat pocket and just holds a stummer like up over his shoulder out to you to look at.
What is it?
It's a stummer.
What does that do?
It enables one to move silently.
Oh, fascinating.
I imagine each and every one of these intruders, or at least the ones that welded our door shut, were equipped with these, and that's why we slept through it.
Well,
Weren't gassed.
very strange how prepared a boarding party of this size, all to get one man.
They knew to lock us in. They knew to throw overwhelming numbers at us. So they knew us. We're a secret unit. Perhaps this is Valentine's orders that they're working under. No one else that I know of knows we're out here. Actually, I believe Gilliman knows we're out here. But that's about it.
Solomon, you were not aware
Yeah.
Gilliman knew anything about this mission.
I'm sorry. What's that?
This is an op that's been requested or ordered by Rabute Gilliman.
I feel like that would shock him.
Yeah.
Like foundationally, but in that way of like, oh, well.
Hey, no, that's enough of that. This is serious.
But that's of course it's serious. It never wasn't serious. That just means that we have to absolutely get to the bottom of this.
Oh, well, I'm glad you think so.
Yes, absolutely. We'll redouble our efforts.
And Damien's like frustrated, but also like
You don't want to tell him to dim his light?
yeah, and he doesn't want to get pulled into the trap of like, this is gonna sound mean, but he doesn't want to get pulled into the trap of like talking to Solomon. It's like he is looking for that distance at all times of, I'm not his friend. I can't be his friend. He cannot endear himself to me. It would be bad for him. So even this stuff of like him being kind of a goof, where like if he was Damien's buddy, would be like, yeah, you're all right. It's like, ugh, I need to take a beat and get mean again of like, take that to Morgan. You're in my light. I can't see what I'm doing.
So I'm sorry, that's my fault here. I'll
Var
take
jeg
it to it
ferdig
right
med
away.
lekser?
I like how good we've been working together.
Go.
Excellent.
Give the little
Pappa.
salute. He
Ja.
turns and goes.
And like
Ja.
double time too.
kikke opp.
As soon as you
Nå er vi
mention
ferdig med
Gilliman,
lekser.
now he's just like, oh,
Liker hun rosa?
the mission.
Just,
He's already down the hall.
yeah.
Ja, en sånn
You're
ja,
a
det liker å passe
ridiculous
deg,
man,
pappa.
Solomon.
What?
Cool.
You too.
Du ser, jeg er ferdig.
Meanwhile, down the long hallway, Morgan, you find yourself back at Closet's quarters.
Liker du det da?
Closet has to roll for this test.
Dette, hva sa du?
Okay. The door opens for you, no problem. He was just
Ja,
keeping
men
it locked
liker du
because
Fanta
Talos
da?
was with you last time. Welcome back. Scan just completed.
Vent da. Husker
Men
faktisk.
the
Jeg
results.
lagde en gang.
No
Når jeg
holes.
skulle ut, Victoria, når jeg
No
ga
holes. The same as it ever was, I suppose.
Men vi er på vei
I
hjem nå.
never scanned his brain before. I assumed it was mission priority secret from the
Huh?
Inquisition.
Yes, it is.
There does appear to be a biological tamper, including a small explosive. If someone tried to mess with his brain, he would die.
I see.
Ja. Men vi
Well,
snakkes etterpå da, når vi er på vei hjem nå.
Comfort there.
Adjø.
Thank you for doing that, Closet.
No problem.
The Inquisitor also mentioned to me that we should keep Talos Ivo happy.
Why?
It is not up to us to ask the whys of the Inquisitor. It is only to carry out his orders. So I ask that you assemble some things to give to him that he can have.
He requires tribute.
Not tribute. He just wishes to tinker with things. And I agree with you. He should not have the ability to come in here and touch any of your things. So I ask if you could spare some tools or something to give to him.
You agree he should not be able to take my things, so you want me to give him my things?
Give him the things you're not currently using. Or, alternatively, make him a few things.
Roll me persuasion.
11.
No.
Whoa.
This was a request. Request denied.
The fact that this comes from the Inquisitor does not make a difference to you.
The Inquisitor did not ask me to give him things. You are requesting I give him things. Giving him something I make is giving him my time, the most precious thing other than my things.
Fy faen.
Alright, well, your happiness and comfort is more important to me than his.
I am a priority. Noted.
Everest, shall you join me back to the cockpit?
Yes, of course, whatever you need, Interrogator.
And she's gonna start leaving.
The moment you exit with Avarice, oh, just a moment, if you don't mind. Did you tell him it was an order? Or did he tell you it was a request? The mechanical one. Terribly literal. So, if he said this is a request and you did not disagree, then it would seem to be a request which he could righteously refuse.
Yes. Thank you, Everest. I am turned about this evening. And she's gonna turn around and walk back through.
Door will open. You're
Door
outside.
open goes.
Get him.
Closet. The ship's engine has been destroyed and we are marooned here.
Yes.
Thus, we will have some ample extra time. And I order you to give some of that time to make things for Talos Ivo.
Confirmation.
Confirmed doubly so.
How much time?
10%.
Priority.
I wish this to be prioritized among all of your other tasks unless I tell you otherwise.
Top priority compared to other tasks?
Same priority.
That is an impossibility. Everything has a priority according to its needs.
Closet, I do not speak the same language as you, nor do I share your religion.
We both speak basic.
I am telling you to decide on the prioritization. And if it ends up displeasing me, there will be consequences.
I am not aware of how to please you. It is a confusing metric.
You'll have to figure it out. And she's gonna leave.
Interesting. Interrogator pleasure experiments begin.
This episode of Agents of the Inquisition features the voices of Del Borovic, Guy Bradford, Josh Halbert, and Tyler Hewitt, alongside Dungeon Master Ryan LaPlante. This episode was edited and mixed by Laura Hamstra, and Agents of the Inquisition's artwork was created by Del Borovic. Our theme song is The Hordes by Megan McDuffie, and our outbreaks use the tracks No Control and Chiefs by Jazzar, whose music was provided by freemusicarchive.org. For all things Dum Dums and Dice, including merchandise, you can visit dumdumdice.com or find us on social media at dumdumdice. If you want to support the show or get an ad-free version, go to dumdumdice.com/join. That's DUMBDICE dumblumdice.com/JOIN. Again, that's dumblumdice.com.
Hey, I'm Ernie Neekan from the fully improvised comedy podcast Hello from the Magic Tavern. I'm here with my co-hosts, Chunt the Talking Badger, Bing Bong, and Usador the Wizard.
I greet thee, listeners.
Look, I'm trapped in the magical land of Foon, so I started a podcast interviewing elves, unicorns, and other weirdos. We have great guests like Felicia Day, Jason Mantzoukas, Brennan Lee Mulligan, Amy Mann, and so many more. Oh, and I think one time we interviewed a sentient shoe. I hope it was sentient.
Not to mention the evil people we've had to interview. How I hate evil.
Join us as we bar crawl across the magical land of Foon,
Looking for adventure.
getting caught up in escapades. Hello from the Magic Tavern is available right now on your favorite podcast app and ad-free and with lots of bonus content on Patreon. Subscribe to Hello from the Magic Tavern today.
Prøvde å kjøpe, eller jeg kjøpte
The investigations in the wake of the
bitcoin
bombing
i
assault
stad,
on
en
the
liten
Lucky
bit av
Strike
det, men
have
første gang jeg
continued.
kjøpte krypto.
Morgan, you confirmed that Avarice's brain does not appear to have been physically tampered with, and in fact,
En
there is
bitcoin
a
har
small
vært
explosive device in
$80,000
there. Should
nå.
someone try to do that, his head will explode and he will die. You also are trying to negotiate a détente,
Ah,
a peace
0,000.
between Talos Ivo and your regular mechanical ally, Closet, that has become somewhat hostile. Closet is confused by your
33
instructions, but you told him to find a way to give Talos Ivo 10% of his time and a priority that would please you. Meanwhile, Damien and Solomon have been
Ja, den gjør nok det.
scene investigators, just
Den var jo på
determining
60
exactly
000
what
for
happened.
kanskje et par
Solomon
år siden
recognized
bare.
the smell of an agent reminiscent of the sleeping salts used to sedate Grox and knock people out on Arcadia. That was at the judge's quarters where his armor minus his helmet and his weapons remained. And Damien discovered a stummer on one of the bodies of the attackers that had been left behind, crushed by a wall instead of burnt to death along with all evidence, which means that it was possible for these attackers to move in absolute silence, unheard by anyone, explaining how they could do much of what they did around the team. Morgan, you had recollected Avarice and were making your way towards the bridge when Solomon rushes up to you.
Morgan, look what we found on one of the bodies, a stumper.
Yes, a stummer.
Yes. It makes it's silence. It makes you move like the wind itself.
Yes, I used to use one of those. So that is how they got onto the ship without waking me up.
Well, we also believe that they used some kind of sleeping agent on the judge.
That would make sense if they had to physically remove him and they didn't want him to fight back. Alright.
But we have one question we can't figure out. If the judge was their only target, and they came to remove him, and they welded Damien and I away, and they used a knockout drug on him, why would they bother waking you? It makes no sense.
Den elsparkesykkelen har sånn sidelys på siden, som er veldig lyse. Sånn langs hele ståplata.
Excellent. And he's like on his heel.
Så det blir nesten
Morgan wants to talk to you.
So Solomon is running, like, he gets to Damien 30 feet before you, and then it's that awkward moment of all of you walking to the same place as you continue to the bridge together.
He gives you this number too, just like, here, have it.
To Morgan?
Yeah.
Great.
You're all on the bridge.
Yep. So Morgan will... She's toying with the stummer in her hand, and she's just gonna sit in one of the chairs and turn back to look at everybody. Thank you for all of your quick work this evening. I'm reviewing the footage. You all did an incredible job against 50 soldiers.
I will note, continuity-wise for the footage, you have very little of Romeo, but you have some, and you have an exterior airlock door camera. There are no other cameras or microphones inside the ship because you did not want those there for animation. So you don't have like internal hallways. It's Romeo and that airlock.
Yes, but I did see when she was running me down the hallway, but I didn't see them blow things up.
Correct. You just saw them smash through a door, but this is still a nice compliment. And you found a lot of bodies on the way back.
And as if you've been through the hall, you kind of can probably suss out
Yes, it's
what
pretty
happened.
clear. You don't need to be a court scene investigator to know that measure.
Yeah, no, this is the boys'
This seems to be a carefully planned assault and incursion onto the Lucky Strike in particular. The judge effectively incapacitated. Such preparedness implies insider knowledge. Avarice doesn't know what or when or why he'll receive information, but he ought to know when he sends it. Does he not?
Morgan's looking over at Everest.
I mean, yes. All right, so you knowing all of us, the fact that my door was missing, you didn't send any of that information to your bifurcated half. Is that right?
I don't know what you mean, but I sent it to the other ship.
That answers that then. I received